Hey everybody, welcome back to the Light Side Music Reactions. We got a brand new artist to the channel today. This one is Danny Gokey, and he's released a new song called Jesus Over Everything, and that's what we're reacting to today. If you're not familiar with Danny Gokey, he is an American singer and former church music director, and he was the third place finalist on the 8th season of American Idol. He signed to RCA Nashville early in his career, and after he left them, he gravitated more toward an adult pop contemporary Christian sound and signed with BMG Rights Management in 2013. He's had 3 Grammy nominations, multiple GMA Dove Awards, and 3 K-Love Fan Awards that he's won for Male Vocalist of the Year. Some of his songs that you might recognize: Tell Your Heart to Beat Again, Hope in Front of Me. I think I've heard that one. That song title sounds familiar. Haven't Seen It Yet, and I Got You. And then, of course, the one we're reacting to today, Jesus Over Everything. I haven't heard this song before. I have heard Danny Gokey before. I recognize his name, but I can't picture in my head what he sounds like. So that is how unfamiliar I am with him. But let's go ahead and check this out. As always, there's a link in the description to the original video, so you can check it out when we're done here in its entirety without me talking over it and interrupting it. On this channel, just to let you know, I've been getting some comments where people have been asking me to post the videos on here and not just the music. I don't always react to videos. I react to music on this. That's why it's called music reactions. And a lot of times when I react to something, there's no video on it. It's just the official audio. And when there is a video, 9 times out of 10, I don't even watch the video. I've got the video playing, but I'm not commenting on that. I'm commenting on the music. This is a music channel. Every once in a while, I will put the video on there if it's something that is important to the reaction, or if it's something that you guys really, really want. But for copyright purposes, I try not to put the videos on here, because 9 times out of 10, if I put the video on here, it's going to get strikes and it'll get taken down and you'll never see it. So just to make sure that you understand that, that's why we do it. We want you to be able to see these reaction videos. And if I put the videos on here, there's a good chance that you won't get to see it or hear my commentary at all. So anyway, if you do want to check out the videos, there will always be a link in the description, and you can click on that link and you can watch the video for any song that I react to. I just can't put it on the screen on my video. You have to go watch the original. All right, so here we go. Danny Gokey, Jesus Over Everything. Okay, it's got that CCM feel. Starting to sound like a typical praise song. I like it. Okay, and then back into the OOOs in the background. Okay, yeah, this is starting off sounding a lot like your typical 90s and early 2000s praise and worship sort of stuff. You got that whole feel to the music. The lyrics are sung from a perspective of it's him singing to God, not to the audience. It's like the third person perspective sort of thing, to where in Christian songs that are meant as hymns, they're about God. They're singing to us about God, like Amazing Grace, How Sweet the Sound That Saved a Wretch Like Me. Those are songs that are about God, but we're singing to the audience or to ourselves. Then you've got the evangelical type songs, which are meant to tell people about Jesus and to invite them to know more about him and to worship him and to be part of the family of God. And those are the songs that are told from the perspective the singer is singing to the audience about Jesus once again. But then when you get into praise and worship music, it's different. You're not singing to the audience. You're singing to God directly. He is the audience. And that's what it sounds like he's singing here. You surpass. You outlast. You, God. You are greater. There's no equal, no sequel to the author and finisher of my story, of my faith. I will trust in your higher ways. So this is a staple of praise and worship music. That's what makes it praise and worship, is that when you sing these songs in church, for example, the audience, or the congregation basically, isn't the audience. The congregation is singing the song to God. And that's what Danny's doing here. He's singing this song to God. And obviously, if you have the lyrics here, you can sing along with it. And you can sing it to God too. But he's singing about God's goodness. God, you surpass, you outlast. You're greater, there's no equal, no sequel. There's nobody before or after. He's the beginning and the end, the first and the last. To the author and finisher of my faith, that's a Bible verse. And he says, the author and finisher of my story, I will trust in your higher ways. Over my future and my plans, over my need to understand. Okay, so I will trust in your higher ways, your ways over my future and my plans. So we all have plans for our future that we want to do and we want to experience. But then when we become a Christian, we surrender to God. And sometimes his plans are ours. His ways are higher than our ways. And sometimes the things that we have dreams for ourselves. In the book of Jeremiah in the Bible, God tells us that he has plans for us, plans to prosper us and not to harm us. And so sometimes he has plans for us that we can't even begin to imagine, but his plans are always good. And they're always better than anything that anybody else has planned for us, or we even have planned for ourselves. And so becoming a Christian, in a lot of ways, is like surrendering to him, because we know that he wants the best for us. He knows what's best for us. And as much as we want what's best for ourselves, we don't always know what's best for ourselves. So when we become a Christian and truly surrender to God, we do so understanding that his ways are higher than our ways. His knowledge is far beyond ours. And we surrender to him because he knows best. Father knows best, to reference the old TV show. My generation, you understand what that is a reference to. Some of your other people don't know what it is. You younger people, look it up. Google it. Father knows best, and that'll tell you what that is. But anyway, over my future and my plans, I will trust in you. Over my need to understand, I will trust in you. So a lot of times we don't understand the reason why, and that's part of becoming a Christian, is we have faith in him. And faith is surrendering to him and accepting his will for us, even if we don't understand why. And there's a lot of things about life that God will explain to us, and he'll say, do this or do that, and we'll understand why it is. And sometimes we don't know in the moment, but later he explains it to us. We're like, oh, so that's why that happened. And I have had that happen to me so many times. I'll go through something, and I'll be like, why does this have to happen to me? You know, it was so comfortable in my life the way it was, and now God's throwing me a curveball. You know, he's closing a door that I wanted to go through. And when he does, invariably he opens another door, or maybe even a window that I wasn't expecting. And when I go through it, I realize, oh, this is so much better. And if he hadn't closed that door that I was trying to go through and prevented me from going through it, or if the case may be, if I had gone through it, even though I knew that he was telling me not to, but instead I did choose to follow him and not go through that door. And then later on, I still didn't understand why, but he explains it. Sometimes he explains, and later on you say, okay, now I understand why that had to happen, and I'm much better off for it, for having done it the way that he said and not doing it my way. But then there are also sometimes when he doesn't explain to us why these things happen. There are things that happen all the time that we can't explain why they happen in this world. But someday when we get to heaven, either it will be explained to us and we'll be like, oh, so that's why, it makes sense. And it's all so much better. Or we'll get to heaven and we just won't care about it anymore because it'll be a thing of the past and it'll be irrelevant because we're in a far better place and it will all have been worth it anyway without us ever knowing. So he says, over my need to understand, I will trust in your higher ways. Jesus over everything, Jesus over all. Over my weakness and my strength. And there's another Bible verse that talks about that. Actually, there's several, to where when I am weak, he is strong, and his ways are higher than my ways. On God's weakest day, he is still stronger than anybody on this planet could ever be. His weakest is stronger than the strongest human that ever existed. On his day that he knows the least, he still knows better than the wisest human that ever existed. And so, in our weakness, in our strength, in our knowledge, and in our foolishness, we accept his ways over ours, because his is far beyond ours. His knowledge, his power, his ability to understand the future, and to want what's best for us and be able to give it to us. So, over my weakness, my strength, every loss and every gain, Jesus over everything. All right, let's go ahead and pick back up. My need to understand. Ooh, nice. Okay, the last part of that last bridge there got cut off on the lyrics. They've got printed here on the YouTube video. So I may have to go ahead and look up separately those last couple lines. But anyway, this chorus, or this verse, he's saying, no deception or any weapon could ever prosper. That's another scripture right there. No weapon formed against us shall prosper, when we're on God's team, because he's on our team. He's on our side. No weapon formed against us shall prosper, because his weapons are stronger. When we have the armor of God, the shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit, when we have all those tools that he gives us, then nothing that the enemy uses against us can ever get us down and defeat us. No deception or any weapon could ever prosper. They surrender to my defender, to the keeper and the finisher. I love these rhymes. Very good, the way that this is written. They surrender to my defender, to the keeper and the finisher of my story, of my faith. I will trust in your higher ways. And that's repeating what it had on the previous chorus also. Then it gets into this bridge, and they've only got the first half of it printed. When it seems to all come together, or when it all falls apart, in the end, you're always the answer. And that's true. God is always the answer. Make Jesus first. Make Jesus first again. You put him first in your life, Jesus said, if you seek first God's kingdom and his righteousness, then all these things will be added unto you, the things that we need, the things that we want, the desires of our hearts. If we put him first in our lives and choose to follow him, then we're not only going to be given the things that we need to get by from day to day, our daily bread, the food, the shelter, the things like that, but he'll also give us the desires of our hearts, because the desires that we have are pure and holy and what's best for us. And so that's what we need to do. We need to put him first, put his kingdom first, seek first his will in our lives. And then when we go to him asking for things, we'll be asking for things that are truly in our best interest. And that's all that he ever wants for us, is what's really in our best interests. And so when you get to the point to where you realize that God's will is ultimately what's best for us, it's so much easier to just surrender to him, because you don't surrender easily to somebody who you think is going to hurt you. But if you know that somebody like your parent, your father, your mother, that loves you and cares for you and wants only best for you, if they tell you, don't go out tonight, don't go out and play in the middle of the street, or don't go downtown, there's going to be trouble, just stay home tonight, then we're going to surrender. We're going to give in to them and say, okay, you don't want me to go out tonight, I won't go out. You tell me not to play in traffic, I'm not going to play in traffic. I want to because it looks fun, but you tell me not to. I trust you, so I'm going to surrender to your will. That's what we need to do to get in line with God, is to realize that he wants the best for us. He knows what's best for us, and it's in our best interest to give in to what he wants in our lives. And if we pray to him and then stop and listen for his voice to speak back to us, to tell us that still small voice what he really wants for us to do, we will hear from him, and he will tell us what to do, and he'll show us the way to go. So when it all seems to come together, or when it falls apart, in the end, you're always the answer. I'm really enjoying this song. It's got that classic 80s type CCM feel, and it's been a long time since I really listened to new Christian contemporary music. So this is, even though this just came out this year, it's reminded me of the 90s. So let's go ahead and finish out the song. He's got a fantastic voice. Hit those high notes. Very soulful. Ooh, I like that. He's doing the regular melody here. Doing the same thing up here. Split it up right there. Lost in every day. I love that. And you don't hear that a lot with a lot of singers. They'll kind of, the first times through a chorus, they will sing it just regular, like, Jesus over everything. Let me find the chorus here so I can kind of do the thing. Over my future and my plans, over my need to understand, Jesus over everything. Just kind of right there. But then when you get through, like, after doing that 2 or 3 times, then you start to do variations on the melody. You do the, over my future and my plans, Jesus over everything. I mean, my voice is breaking, so forgive me. Jesus over everything. And then you kind of, play with it a little bit, but they don't do it at the same time while having his voice underneath an octave lower doing the regular melody. Most times artists don't do that. He's doing it here. It's creative, and I love it. It gives it a really interesting sort of sound and the new dimension to this song. So I love how he's doing that. Okay, and that was it. I should have just went ahead and let it play out instead of getting the last 2 seconds on afterwards. But anyway, fantastic song. I really enjoyed it. Again, this just came out 2026, but it sounds like something that was written back in the 90s. In fact, maybe it was. Maybe this is a cover song that he's done of somebody else's, or maybe he wrote it a while back, or maybe it's just, that's his style, because that's when he came out singing this kind of stuff, and it's good to hear that style again. It's a little bit nostalgic for me. It's not easy to sing along with, but it's easy to get into, to really enjoy, and so this is a song, one of those ones that I'm not going to be able to, after listening to it, sometimes I'll be able to sing back a melody to you, but I can't sing and get the right melody right. Right there where I was singing a few moments ago, I know I wasn't doing the right melody. But it's really enjoyable, and it showcases his voice, not mine. So I really enjoyed that. If you enjoyed my reaction, hit the like button, comment down below, and give me your recommendations on music that you'd like to see me react to. It can be any artist, any genre, and I'll get to as many of your requests as I can. But anyway, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you know whenever we add new content. And if you're interested in supporting the channel financially, check out the other link in my description that has a video where it tells you how you can get your hands on one of the 3 hats that I have in merchandise available for you guys for your support of the channel. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I enjoy doing these videos, and I hope you enjoy watching them. We'll see you next time on the Lightside Music Reactions. Have a great day, and God bless. Bye, everybody.